Guys, sometimes, we're not as smart as we want to be, right? And that's kind of like evident in a lesson it took me a couple of months to learn. I learned it slowly as time went on. And last week, it kind of came to like the culmination, right? So I want to share that with you. And hopefully, you guys can learn from my mistakes, right? Here's your Tuesday morning tech tip from Pugliese Speed Shop. So, guys, here behind me, you see Scott's 1954 Ford F100. So, if you guys didn't see Friday's video, go check it out. We got a lot of work done on this guy, and it's starting to, gain a little traction here, and we're seeing some good results, right? The thing is, it probably should have been seeing some good results for a while, right? We recently been making these results, but she's been sitting here for a minute, and I've done a couple little things, but not nearly what we need to do, or even close to what I wanted to do, because, well, I didn't have the right frame of mind, right? I kept looking at it saying, like, guys, obviously, this is a huge project, right? And, nobody knows that better than Scott. He's been working on this thing for 32 years, right? So clearly he knows what that is. And guys, I got one of these myself too. You guys have seen it in the background. She's sitting outside right now, but a lot of us, man, we have these long-term projects. I call mine my permanent project. And, well, we get a little overwhelmed. Maybe we get, we don't have, you gotta have like a couple things all at the same time, right? You need to have the money, the time, and the space to do these things. And it's rare that you have them all at the exact same time for an amount of time where it just actually, you can make some money on a project. If you don't have all those things, there's a way to get around it, right? Like ways to still make progress, and I'm just barely figuring that out. I'm going to share it with you. All right, are you guys ready for like the big reveal? Like the big secret, guys. I'm about to just like let the cat out of the bag and just bestow this upon you, so you guys can run with it and get all the projects in the world done. You ready? Right? Get a pen, write down, whatever. In order to get your projects done, you got to work on it. There it is, guys. That's the end all be all. You got to work on them, right? I mean, who knew? Who had any? Yeah, the whole world knew that. Like everybody ever knew that, including myself. But I make excuses. We all do it, guys. And they're not always excuses. Sometimes they're reasons, but they're also excuses, right? We're like, I don't have the time. Life gets in the way. I got this going on. I'm this, that, whatever. And it happens, and next thing you know, guys, time goes by fast, right? So 6 months, a year go by, and you ain't touched your project. It happens. And then next, what happens? 1 year turns into 2, turns into 5, turns into 10. And it's kind of funny that you can see this tattoo as I'm saying that. My 53 Pontiac, guys. I don't want to tell you when I bought the car, but I got the tattoo in 03. All right? And that's 20 years ago I've had this tattoo on my arm. And I have not driven the car once in that 20 years. I've worked on it. I have. But in spurts, right? And it's just, I'm waiting for that perfect trifecta, right? Like I said, the time, the money, and the space. Well, when you don't have all those things at the same time, you got to work on it, right? If you don't have the money, work on stuff that's not going to cost you anything. If you don't have the time, work on little stuff in between things, right? If you don't have the space, work on things you can maybe bring into the house or into the space that you have, and work on them there. There's always ways around it, but sometimes we get overwhelmed, right? So, in case that project over there, not this one right here, but the Ford back there. Cards on the table, guys. I thought it was going to be a smaller project. And that's nobody's fault but my own. I didn't see the vehicle. We talked about it real quick. Hey, we just want to paint it. Cool. Now, I know, so we want to just paint something, a lot of work goes up to that. So this on me that I kind of put like an unrealistic timeline on it. So Scott, don't take that the wrong way by any means, man, because I love the truck and whether I saw it or not, I wanted to work on it. All right. Um, but the timing, so Scott was going to bring the truck down a lot earlier, right? Like months and months earlier. Like I said, time gets, life gets in the way, time gets away from us, and next thing you know, as luck would have it, I came back from picking up the Bel Air, and they were sitting there in my driveway with the truck. So timing wasn't perfect. I had this brand new project I just took on. As you guys know, I already had like, I don't know, 150 others, and then had here Scott's truck. So I wish me and Jay would have talked about it sooner, but we didn't. We talked about some things. We got that fender for the bed sent off, blasted, got it back, did some body work on it, primed it, and that was ready to go. And then it kind of sat, right? I had a million things going on. Jay had a million things going on. Scott had a million things. Guys, you get it, right? But Jay to the rescue on this one, because he's like, hey man, we're not getting nothing done. When every time we'll talk about it, hey, let's go this, let's do that, we're always busy, right? So he said, let's set aside a day, and that's the day that we'll work on this truck. I said, that's a solid plan, dude. So Tuesday just happened to be the day. It works out well. So, every day after work, he comes over for 2-3 hours, and we get some work done. And guys, it's a great day. We have a ton of fun working together, right? So we're enjoying the project. We always have at least a beer or two while we're doing it, so that's a win. And the truck is, you guys saw the video, I hope. It's working, guys. Work's getting done on the truck. There's progress being made. Things we didn't think were going to happen are happening, and we're just that much closer. So I probably should have learned this like a long time ago, because what I do is I look and look at this project. I'm like, oh my God, I got to do this. And I look at what I got to do to finish it. No, don't do that. Look what I mentioned Dan all the time from DD Speed Shop, right? He's always getting things done. His projects, they sit sometimes, right? Because he's working on like 6 others. So he's mentioned a bunch of time in his videos of doing one thing at a time, right? Come down, go to the shop every day and do one thing. Well, you do that every day for a month, what happens? You got 30 things done, right? And now you look at your project, you're like, oh my God, I'm making progress, right? Obviously, he's awesome at it. Guys, my buddy Scott. It's not Scott with the truck, but Scott that came down and got that motorcycle. Well, I don't think it's even been a month. And it's done. Riding it. The thing runs awesome, looks awesome. He's riding it. This thing has been sitting in like 4 or 5 different people's garages in the back, like, just I don't want to look at it, for years. The right guy got it with the right attitude. Now Scott is retired, so he's got all those things we talked about. He's, he can just get out there and work on it. But he's also got that mentality. He always has. I've known him for years. He's not the guy to kind of sit back and like, oh, okay, well, this, he's like, I'm going to get it done. And you call it what you want. Obsesses on it, prioritizes, whatever he does, that bike is living proof of when you work in your project, it gets done. So I wish I would have thought about this sooner. Just take a step back and do the little things. And before you know it, by doing all the little things, you're going to accomplish all the big things too. You know, we say it. You got to keep working. You got to be steady on it. Like I said, we say it. We just said in the last video. If you want to have the coolest thing in the parking lot, you better be ready to put in some work. And Dan's doing it. Scott's doing it. Probably about time for us to pick up on that trend well, you know, as well. You know what I mean? Either way, I'm going to stop rambling because I got to get this thing out of the shop. And maybe if I do one thing a day, yeah, we'll finish this project too.